Right, so this video will obviously involve squeegee and a washer, but I'm also going to talk about scrubbers. Now, first of all, when I'm cleaning windows, I'm pretty much 98% of the time going to be wearing gloves, and I have different gloves for different types of work, residential work, commercial work, winter gloves, but generally speaking I wear gloves, and the reason why I wear gloves is for a number of reasons. First of all, it's to protect my hands and skin. I don't want them getting wet, I don't want them getting soapy, I don't want them getting cut. Yeah, pretty much it's to protect my hands. And secondly, it's to help me work a lot quicker and a lot more effective. The only thing about wearing gloves is not effective is trying to put your gloves in your pouch to take out a tool or take out some money to swap with the customer, change or whatnot. The only time then I'll have to take them off, and when I'm driving the vehicle I'll take my gloves off. Otherwise I'm just wearing gloves. So there is always downfalls to anything in life, but generally speaking I'm always wearing gloves when I'm working. The other week someone showed me Richie Blue's scrubber, and it's a new type of scrubber. It's, I think Darren Ambrose sells it, and someone in I don't know, in America sells it as well, and it's novel. It's never been done before. It's got new features on it. It's got brass wool scrubbers on it, so it's more effective and it's more efficient than normal washers. And here's my washer here. This is the washer I tend to use. And last but not least, I shouldn't really be using references because it gets me into trouble, but anyway, the Window Cleanse made a video many years ago, and he was talking about his washer, and he said something that I agreed with. He said that his washer wasn't a scrubber, and that rung home true to me, because when I used to use my washer as a scrubber as well, I was working longer, harder, slower and getting less results. And the scrubber part on here, on this mop here, well, I actually did put one on here it had a steel wool here, but this is the scrubber, and that's for your stuck on dirt. But I've got something much more effective and efficient than having my washer work as a scrubber. So number two reason why I use these this procedure, and I don't know anybody who does use this procedure, so it's quite out there compared to other things that I suggest people to do. All I'm interested in is get the job done as quick as possible, as good as possible, and also without causing any damage, and also safely as possible as well. So here's my washer. Now my washer doesn't act as a scrubber, but this is a better scrubber. This way of working is a better scrubber, I would say, than the best scrubber out there, which a lot of people are now saying is the Richie Blue scrubber. So I've said to you why I wear gloves. I said to you why I agree with the Window Cleanse, that this is a washer, not a scrubber. And now I'm going to show you why my way of working is the most effective and efficient. So I've got a dirty window and I'm going to wash it up. Straight away I need to scrub that. So quite often you get people either stop what they're doing, get their wire wool out, or get like a, what they call like a pad thing out. But I don't do that. I'm using my hand to scrub. So this is just one glove that I'm using, quite rough here, very accurate, very precise, and I'm just taking as much dirt and debris off as possible. And now I can squeegee. So I don't have a wet hand, but I use my hand as a tool, which is more effective, quicker, more precise than using a scrubber, or just using the washer and then squeegeeing thing, and then realizing I need to do that again. So I'm only interested in being as quick as possible and as effective as possible. So I wash, I scrub with my hand, and then I'll wash again. Now maybe I would use my other hand, but my other hand is carrying at the moment this squeegee. So I haven't got my belt on, so I'm just showing you with one hand that I'm washing, scrubbing, and then washing again and squeegeeing. So your hand is actually the best tool you can use for most things. Normally the tool sits in your hand and then you start working with it, whatever tool it is, whatever job you're doing. But at the moment I'm just using my glove as a tool. But I know that that is just a finite scrub. They might need to do a little bit more thorough job, scrub. So I've now got my knuckle scrubbers on both hands. So if I see some muck that I can't lift off and it's just in a few places, I can now scrub and wash at the same time. Still very accurate, and if I can't do it with that hand, I could use this hand. I've still got all my tools in my hand. Now I can now squeegee again. Oh, I still see a problem. There we go, let's get rid of that. Here we go. Now we're working quicker and more efficient. So I'm using my hands as tools to scrub. This is my washer. These are my scrubbers. Now, there's still times where you can't get your debris off with my knuckle scrubbers. So then I'll maybe have to stop what I'm doing, put the tools down, get wire wool out, which I also carry, and then start rubbing down. And even if that doesn't work, then I would say maybe two, 3 times every month, I will use the scraper for maybe sellotape, sticky tape, take decals off, or really burnt on dirt. But very rarely do I ever need to use my scraper. Then I have to stop what I'm doing and start scraping, just like anybody else will have to do. But generally speaking, 99% of the time, my washer and my scrubbers, they're always interacting with each other, and I'm never stopping and pausing and getting the right tool out, because my tools are just armed and ready all the time. But if you're not using gloves, now it took me a while to start getting used to using gloves. Now, because I've used gloves for such a long time, I don't feel right not using gloves. So yeah, here it is. Here's my washer, here's my scrubber. Much more accurate than this. This is a little bit cumbersome. Even if you've got a great scrubber on the end, like a wire wool, it's still a little bit cumbersome. You might have a good pressure there, but I don't know. I still find it harder, longer, slower than having these tools, and they were literally at the end of my fingertips. So that's my theory on having a washer and scrubber. And I'm pretty sure most people don't work like this, and most people won't agree with this, but it really, I mean, I said to Mormon many times, you know, to clean a really dirty window, I can do it really quickly by using scrub gloves, but they weren't convinced on the idea. But I've been doing it for 4 or 5 years, and there is no, just like there is no way going back from off this tool, there is no way going back from using gloves as well as using them as a scrubber. So the most efficient and effective way I find to scrub is to wash with a washer and use scrub gloves. And you could obviously, you've got to make your own, but I have different gloves for different seasons of the year. So winter gloves, these are sort of my autumn gloves. They're only semi waterproof, and I have a number of gloves, because even the waterproof gloves that I normally wear, which some of them on the washing line now, they get smelly, and they because your hands sweat in the rubber gloves. But generally speaking, it's a good time saver, saves your hands. I don't get dirty hands. I used to always get sick because I never used to wear gloves, and I used to eat thinking my hands were clean because I've just been cleaning windows, and I was always getting sick. So I don't get sick like I used to, and I'm able to work much freer, much more accurately. And if you took my gloves away, then you know I'm really going to suffer, because I know the only other alternative is to work longer, harder, slower, and get less results.